What's up, catfish fans? Welcome back to the channel. And on today's episode of What's the Worst That Could Happen While We're Fishing, here we go. Oh, that come out of the rod holder and hit me right in the... You know what I'm talking about? Big takedown. Big takedown. Oh. No way. Oh, he let it go. All right, so I'm about to get after it. As you can see, the visibility is not great. And I don't know if you can hear that barge out there or not, but he's out there somewhere. We don't have to run too far to the first spot. Hopefully we'll be able to make it without any troubles. There she is. We can see it a little bit now. Kicking on through the fog. Man, the river is, it's on the fall and it is getting it. It's going to be an interesting day. All right, y'all, so since the river's down, my first strategy is going to be looking for fish in the deeper holes, hoping that they just kind of nail down in the bottom of these holes until they figure out what the water's doing. Plus the water's still pretty cold, so got 2 or 3 different places I'm going to check. And then if that don't work out, I've got another strategy I'm going to try, but we'll talk about it when the time's right. Right now I'm going to scan some holes and see what we can find. Alright, so I didn't have to run very far to find some fish. I've already kind of passed them, so not much is showing up here. You can see a couple there where I went by. They're actually in about 56 feet of water right over here. I didn't have to run far at all, but I'm going to try to move over, and it breaks off from about 20 feet down to about 40 feet, and then right in here down to about 60 feet, but they were right there in that 56 feet. So that's what I'm going to try to do, is get over there. I hear a boat coming and I know they can't see me, so I'm gonna move over just a little bit and get set up. We'll see what happens. All right, y'all, so I completely forgot to get my bait thawing. So what I'll do, it's froze hard as a rock. While I'm getting everything else going, put a little water in my live well, drop it in there, let it thaw on out. Now, I'm not going to start out with any super big chunks. I am running a couple double hook rigs, but what you're going to see me do now, I'm going to get this gut pocket off. It feels rough. What you'll see me do now is put 2 smaller baits on my double hook rigs, because I'm not sure what's here. This is definitely a spot that could produce big fish, but with that being said, my thing is usually throwing bigger baits, but with the conditions, I'm not going to throw those bigger baits. With the water falling as hard as it is, I just don't really think that they're going to want great big baits. Now, they may prove me wrong here in just a little bit. That is possible. But I don't really think so. I'm going to put this headpiece on. It's going to go right out toward the channel. I'm running a 16-ounce weight on it, since it's going to be out toward the channel. I'll give you an idea. Let me get this bait out, and I'm going to give you an idea why I set up here. But the water is actually running backwards. We're in an eddy.
Don't have to throw out very far, because the way I had to set up with the water running backwards, I mean, I need them kind of right here. So that one's gonna be in about 60 feet. About 60 feet, and that 16 is glued to the bottom. I run a sinker slide. That way, if that weight is too much, smaller fish grabs it, whatever, they can just pull through that sinker slide, and they're not actually pulling around a 1 pound weight. Now, you see, I don't know if you can tell, but the bank kind of dips in right here. There's a cutout in the bank. Out here where I'm set up, there's a wash hole. The river's running so hard right now that it's coming into here and running around backwards. So the river's running this way. It's pulling into here, running around backwards. That's what causes this. And these fish, there's a ledge on either side, and these fish are just in this hole right here, in this slacker water, just staying out of that main current. And since it's falling, what I found is, that was a rock, by the way, that was not trash. What I found is, since it's falling as hard as it is, they'll get down in these holes and just kind of hunker down to see what's going to happen. So that is my game plan for the moment, is pulling these fish out of these holes where they've hunkered down, waiting to see what the water's going to do. Now that may change, and I do have another strategy to go to if that's not right. So like I said, don't have to get crazy with the cast. Now this, the water's a little slacker, plus it's going to be right out the back of the boat. I'm not trying to hold it off to the side, so I'm only running an 8-ounce weight, and it stuck to the bottom pretty good. Anyway, I'm gonna get these other rods out, and y'all just stay tuned and we'll see what happens. All right, y'all, just like that, the rods are out. We are fishing. I'm gonna set a 30-minute timer. If I haven't caught anything right here in 30 minutes, we'll probably move on. This rod here is in 25 feet of water. I pitched it as hard as I could back up that away. We're in about 50, 55-ish, 60 feet. So we'll see what happens. All right, so we're about 15 minutes in, and this rod here on the left, which is the shallow water rod, it keeps getting hit, but the boat's moving toward it, so I'm a little bit afraid that he's not on there. I was a little bit afraid that maybe he was on there and the boat was moving toward him. Very good possibility with that rod sitting where it's sitting, or with that bait sitting where it's sitting, that could be a gar. Usually don't have a lot of trouble out of gar this early, but it's kind of biting like a gar, either a gar or a really small fish, one or the other. The boat was positioned perfect, and had a big barge come by. Got me moving again. There we go. Oh. Not sure if he's hooked up yet. Hold on. Let's give him a second. All right, that's 2 fish that I've missed. As y'all know, I didn't put out a video last weekend, and I think I'm I think I'm wanting it a little too bad, you know what I mean? And I done rushed. They're biting real slow, and I've done rushed 2 fish now, and messed up on both of them. Patience is key, especially when they're biting like they're biting today. So I got to back up off of that a little bit. I've got to let them do their thing and let them hook up and stop rushing. Oh, somebody just popped off a round right up here on the bank. I know they don't see me. I'd hate for a stray to come this way. But anyway, yeah, rushing it. Got to take my time, let them take the bait, and I'm wanting the video too bad, I guess. There, this left side, that rod's going again, or was. Man, it's just a strange bite, and I'm not sure if it's catfish and they're just playing, or if I'm on some gar or what. I don't know. Usually though, like this rod here, it's in 55, 60 feet of water. I don't have much problem with gar. That's why I was thinking maybe this one was a gar, but the bite was almost identical. Still trying to figure out the day, but I'm not gonna rush them this time. I'm gonna let them bounce on it and whatever they want to do, and I'll let them decide when it's time to take it, instead of me trying to reel down on them too early. Man, that fog is rolling on in here. It's getting thicker. I thought it may lighten up a little bit, but I can still see 150 yards. And our next spot, which I may set up right here again, I may move up a little bit and set up more on the ledge this time for 30 more minutes before I move down. But our next spot is about a 1/4 mile down, so surely by the time we're done here, we move down there, get done there, surely by then this fog will lift on out of here, I hope. You never know, could be one of these days where it hangs around all day. I hope not, because I got one spot that I'm wanting to run to that's way downriver. Uh-oh. Man, he pulled that line. Now see, this is a different situation. He pulled the line slack, and I really hate to not check him. But he's not there. Same thing. Same thing. And when I turned around, I mean, he had pulled that dude down. It's a weird bite. It is a weird bite, but I'm more certain that was a bigger fish. Pretty sure that was a big catfish there, for him to bend that heavy like he did. But he just didn't commit. And, you know, he pulled the line slack. Now, when they do that, I get nervous. Like I was just saying, I wasn't going to rush him, but when he pulled it down like that and then the line goes slack, a lot of times they're coming back up toward the boat. And if you don't get on it and get to him, get the slack out of it, he's not going to hook up. But in that case, he just grabbed it, snatched it down, and then turned it loose. Look, well, I missed that one too. But anyway, I don't know. We got about 10 more minutes on this set. Unless this keeps happening, then I may give it a little longer. But our timer's at about 10 minutes, I think. We'll see. Oh, that come out of the rod holder and hit me right in the... You know what I'm talking about? Oh, man. Golly. And it's just hung up. I thought it was a big fish pulling it down. I'm going to have to take a minute. Y'all can. Boy, it hit me right in the left side, if you know what I'm talking about. Oh, man. I don't know what in the world I got hung up on, but it eased over one time. I guess because the boat's moving, but it eased over, and then Man, I'm still feeling it. It eased over. So we got 2 minutes left. I'm gonna go ahead and kill that. And I'm gonna try to get this loose. We're gonna move anyway. But like I was saying, man, that old rod eased over, and you know, I'm kind of standing like right here. You know what I mean? And whenever I pulled it up out of there, it had pressure on it, and I wasn't holding it tight enough or whatever, and that handle, you know what I'm talking about. Oh, it didn't feel good at all. But anyway, I'm gonna get these up and kind of reposition. I think we are gonna stay in this spot, but I'm gonna reposition, and then we'll see what happens. All right, y'all, so this is gonna be spot number 2, and kind of the exact same setup. Marked a few fish here. Seems like they're hanging in that 40 to 60 foot range right now. Got some shallow water over there. We'll put that in the shallower. You don't see me throw the same baits often from spot to spot, but I'm a little shy today. I wish I could run up on some here in a little bit, which I'm going to try to. Try to run up on some better baits. Oh, got a little shad in my mouth there. Didn't taste half bad. Them old catfish ought to be after that. Anyhow, got some old honkers over here on the sand. I enjoy that. Let them sit over there and just chirp at me out here. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing. I'm doing the same thing they're doing. I'm looking for some fish. Anyway, I'm gonna finish getting these out, and that piece still bleeding. Should be all right. I'm gonna finish getting these out, and hopefully this spot here pays off. But if not, we'll move on down. We only got to run about another 250 yards to be to the next spot that I'm gonna try to find some fish, and gonna try to find some bait. So with that being said, let's see what happens. All right, y'all, so we're right at the 30-minute mark. Have not got a bite in this spot. I just rigged up a couple of bait rods. We're gonna move to the next spot. We're gonna try catching some bait first. Either way, I've got enough bait to fish a couple more spots. So if we can't catch any bait, we'll move on to a couple more spots. If we do catch some bait, we're also going to move on to a couple more spots with better odds. But I'm going to get all this rolled up and we'll get to moving. Y'all stay tuned. Tell you what, I would just be so excited if I could catch a couple of bait fish. I really don't care what they are, as long as I can use them for bait. There is a pile of Asian carp out here, of course, but I generally, I'll say it right in a minute, don't have much luck this time of year on the Asian carp. But I may see if I can get one in the boat here in a minute. Just to see, because you never know. And I don't like being limited to that one bait, especially when it's frozen. I've got that frozen shad with me from a couple weeks ago. I don't like that being my only option. was able to salvage my spoon, and I would much rather be out of the boat trying to catch bait. So I just docked the boat and I'm gonna walk up and down this rock dike, cast a few times. Like I said, maybe not, but if I don't try it, I know it's gonna be not. I don't think I'll keep y'all running for the boring stuff, but if we get one on, I'll flash back to it. So bait spot number 1 was a bust. That ain't no problem. We're gonna head on to another spot where we can get some I'm a little too far up on the bank here, where we can get some baits out for catfish and possibly catch some bait. So y'all stay tuned. Strategy. There's a wash hole right here at the end of this dike, and I'm gonna sit right over it and just drop baits down. It's kind of in a little swirl, but it's swirling really light. When I came through here scanning, there was a lot of fish down there, so we're gonna give it a shot. If this right here don't work, I'm gonna go start looking for structure as close as possible to the main channel. I may have one more place to try. If that doesn't work, looking for structure as close as possible to the main channel, and maybe anchoring or walking some baits back to it. But I'm gonna get these set up and get them out, and we'll try it. What I'm doing here now, I think I just said it, but I'm gonna say it again, is just suspending these baits right up off the bottom. We're in about 61, 62 feet of water. And like this piece right here, usually I wouldn't use that, but I'm going to because I'm getting a little low on bait, and I have not had any luck catching any. So I'm actually going with smaller pieces, which is against everything I like to do when I'm fishing. But I am trying to be conservative with the bait. I'm gonna get these rods spread out. I'm gonna have 2 off the back of the boat, and I'll have 2 off the middle of the boat up here. And it looks like on the surface it's pretty calm, but it's churning pretty good down there. I'm having to use these 16-ounce weights, and you can see if you look at that line there, it's still pulling it over a little bit. But anyway, I'm gonna get these baited up and get them down. Y'all stay tuned. This one here just got hammered. I believe he's on there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he's on there. Oh man, I don't have this camera going. So, hooked up with one fish earlier, he got off. Just hooked up with another one. And so far, he's staying on. Don't think he's a giant, but it'll be a whole lot better than what was going on before now. He was bouncing. Definitely not a giant. Man, see what I'm talking about? Junk. They are junk. They were all right. They were brand new. Here we go. First one in the boat. He's back. Get after another one. Since he is the first fish, I'm gonna take a picture. I got some folks wanting to know if I'm catching any. All right, we'll get this little guy back. We'll get after another one. He come from deep. Feels like he's all right though. Oh yeah, he's going straight back down. Okay. Looks like I got lucky and kept both of my baits. What I'm talking about. I don't mind the little fish on the slow days, especially when they leave me my bait. All right, try for another one. I dropped the ball, y'all, and both of my power sources, one I use to recharge my GoPro batteries and the one that I usually run my console camera off of, are dead. I've got two batteries that are should be hot, and then I've got one that's iffy. Maybe it's hot. So I'm gonna have to conserve all the battery power I can. We may not get all the usual takedowns and that kind of stuff if they do really start hammering, but I'm gonna do my best to work with what I got. But y'all stay tuned. Hopefully these old fish will turn on here in a minute. All right, y'all, so I wanted to take just a minute to throw this in there. I know I do all the time, but these Catch the Fever rods, they are absolutely amazing. And if y'all need some Catch the Fever rods, I'm gonna drop my link and my promo code in the description of this video. All you've gotta do is click that link, go over, get your cart all full of Catch the Fever rods, use code KDK10, save you 10%. Got the most awesome rods there are. Catch the Fever. Y'all go check them out. Now back to the video. Rods out. What's probably going to be the last spot of the day. Just got 5 rods out. I may add another one if I start getting many bites right here. But what I've done, I've set up in a blowout behind a rock dike. See here how this is blown out. And I've seen some bait fish jumping. Not sure what all they were, I couldn't tell. So I thought I would throw the old spoon around a little bit. So far, no luck on any bait fish. I just cut a couple of new shad that I had. Frozen, of course, but they were in pretty good shape. So out of these 5 rods, I've got 3 really good baits out there. I don't know, man, it's been tough today. Can't find no bait, can't find no... I probably could have found some bait. I'd had to make a longer run or put in a different ramp. One or the other. And I just really didn't feel like doing that. The ramp closest to my house that I was wanting to put in on, the water has dropped too much. I couldn't get put in there this morning, so I had to travel a little farther than I was wanting to anyway for a Sunday trip. I don't know, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna give these rods about an hour here in this spot. I've been moving every 30 minutes, but I marked some fish here. I'm gonna give them about an hour, and we'll we'll just see what happens. And like I said, this may be the last spot of the day. The wind is kicking. Y'all can probably hear that. I bet the audio is crap. But yeah, not giving up yet. Oh, missed something. Just got a bite on this left-hand rod. I'm not sure if he's gonna commit. He's still bumping it. I said I wasn't gonna rush anymore after missing those two earlier. But he's actually pulling that line over this way there just a minute ago. I don't know. And then it keeps going slack. But I guess I'm just gonna leave him alone and see if he goes on with it. Big takedown. Big takedown. Oh. No way. Oh, he let it go. I don't know what just happened. Yeah, what? I am devastated by that last one, and I hate to have to end it like this, but that's all the time I've got. I've got to go. Man, I'm still. That's been 30-45 minutes ago, and I'm just, whew. I don't know. I got the hook back. The hook's bent. That was a 12-aught hook, and it's bent. I don't know if the drag was locked down on that reel and he bent the hook and pulled off, or what. I don't know what happened. I don't know. But anyway, it happens that way sometimes. At least I got to see him take it down. And I don't know. That's about all I can say about that. I appreciate y'all for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I'll see y'all on the next one.